Do you want to deepen your relationships?
Would you like to kiss the homies good night?
Well, you probably can't do that yet because you haven't rizzed them up enough yet. So stick around because in this video we're going to show you how you can do exactly that from the comfort of your own shower. Let's get right into it.
Now we're going to want to start with some basic maintenance. Now, this doesn't mean actually deepening your relationship, it's just the bare minimum, just to maintain your relationships to a good level. And what you want to do is keep a list of all your closest friends, all your closest family members that you want to maintain a good relationship with, and make sure you catch up with them every once in a while. Now, if you're not that good at remembering things, you want to either put them in your to-do list or maybe schedule them in your calendar. And what you can put in there is either a text or a checkup call, but you can actually also schedule some meetings with them, like meeting up with them in person and doing some fun activities. Whatever it is, just make sure you talk to them every now and then, make them feel appreciated, and it's going to make your relationships much better. Now, what's important is that you are the initiator. See, everybody always wants someone to come up with them with some fun ideas about what to do, but in reality, nobody actually does it. So since you're on self-improvement, you might as well be the one who goes ahead and does it. Otherwise, nothing's gonna come if you just wait. Go get it.
Sexy schmexy. So, next up we have the 10 rules for communication, right? First of all, this one is very, very important. Use clear communication. We've all had those situations where we had a person in our lives that was really bad at communicating. Just had no idea how to convey certain feelings, emotions, or just logical stuff about what to do. It is annoying and it eats your time away. So, be direct with your intentions and with what you want to say. However, always stay respectful. Also, you want to be the go-to person. See, when somebody has a problem or something, especially in the male friendship space, it can be very hard to talk about those kind of things because most guys don't have these kinds of relationships where you can talk about that kind of stuff. So, here's your role to fill that need. You can be the go-to person for stuff that they want to talk about. Now, that doesn't mean that you should take on everyone's problems and just be a little sponge for bitterness. No, but be a person that understands how to talk to people if they need to talk. One way of doing this is by validating their feelings. I know that this is quite a girly thing to do, is what you might think. However, let me give you a little mindset reset here. Guys don't usually have those kinds of relationships, as I just mentioned. So, what you want to do is, so when a guy comes up to you and tells you about a problem or something that really means a lot to him, he does that because he trusts you. So be here and make him feel heard, okay? Validate their emotions first. By the way, this doesn't just work for guys, this works wonderfully for girls as well. Whenever you talk to them, first label their emotions. Whenever you hear them talk about something and you realize that they're talking about it in a very, let's say, sad way, just tell them something like, it sounds like that was very stressful. Really make them feel that you know how they felt. It's a basic human psychological thing. It is going to help them and make them feel heard. Also, you want to do that first. First you listen, validate their emotions, and then you give them advice. This way you're making sure that they feel like they have quality conversations with you, and you're still giving them that manly advice that you always give to others. Remember, you're the one on self-improvement. This really works for all kinds of friends. Platonic friendships, relationships, girlfriends, boyfriends, and so on. And rule number 5, be honest, or as Jordan Peterson put it, at least don't lie. See, you want to be a very trustworthy guy. You do not want to lie to your friends. It is not going to go well. So, be honest, and if you really, really have to, just tell them something in a way that's at least not lying. It's going to help you out quite a bit, and it's going to make you a trustworthy person.
Rule number 6 is asking for help. This may seem kind of strange, but the reality is, a lot of people actually feel very appreciated if you ask them for help. They want to feel important, they want to feel useful, and this is a great way. So if you need help with anything, if you need advice with anything, just be open. It's going to be a win-win for the both of you. Now, rule number 7 is just considering their point of view. This seems very basic since it's just basic empathy, but it's actually something that a lot of people lack. And the only thing you have to do is think about what you would feel if you were in their shoes, how you would act. And it's actually going to give you a much better point of view, and it's going to avoid so many different conflicts. And rule number 8, be scarce but not distant. What do we mean by scarce? It means you should be not always available. Now, you're on self-improvement. You're not always available to go out drinking. You've got other more productive things to do. And this is actually going to make people appreciate you even more when you do come. You're going to seem like a very valuable member of the team if you're someone who can't always be there. But the thing is, you don't want to be distant. You don't want to act like you don't care about them, because that's just going to seem very cringy. So make sure you're always there for them, you're not distant, but you're also not always there and being super clingy. Now, rule number 9 is solving conflicts ASAP. Now, this is so important because if there's any problem, if there's anything you want to talk about, but you avoid doing it, it's just going to build up and it's going to create some sort of tension between you and your friend or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and it's going to get worse and worse over time. Now, the thing is, the worse it gets, the harder it's going to be to talk about that. So you're going to get it out of the way as soon as possible and avoid as many conflicts as possible. And now rule number 10 is a very important one. Don't talk bad behind other people's backs. Now, this may seem a bit strange because they don't notice, but the thing is, the people that you're talking to are going to realize, wow, he might not be that trustworthy if he's talking bad about his friends behind their back. He must be talking bad about me as well. And you may get some laughs out of them, but they're going to trust you less after a while. Now, I'm not saying you should be some sort of Karen that makes no jokes ever. You want to have some friendly banter and insult people every now and then, but you want to make sure it's the kind of stuff that you would also say to their face. Otherwise, you're just a traitor.
Now let's get in a little deeper here. How do you actually have those deep conversations that so many people fear? Well, let me teach you how, because this is such an important skill. You want to be actively listening. When you talk to someone, do not be on your phone. Be completely present. Look them in the eye, just really deeply. And when they're talking, say things like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I see. Interesting. You want to be someone that is actively listening because people love talking and they love being listened to. Make them feel important. Also, ask the right questions. Now, what are the right questions? If you do journaling, you know what the right questions are. These are all the questions that you journal about. How did this make me feel? How is this going to affect me in the future? They're kind of therapy questions, things that go deeper. You want to ask these kind of questions that nobody else asks. Also, avoid them shallow topics. See, a lot of relationships are very shallow. Some people may only talk about what shows they watch on Netflix and that kind of stuff. This is never going to be a very deep and good relationship. Instead, you should find some deep topics that you both are interested on. The workings of the universe, self-improvement, all this kind of stuff. And talk about it and have these very deep conversations. It's going to make your friendship so different from any other one. Also, be emotionally supportive. When somebody comes to you with a problem, be there for them. They come to you for a reason. Maybe they don't have anyone else, or they do. Either way, you're the only one that they can talk to, so be there for them. Also, you want to open up. It's very, very, very good to be a great listener. It is super important. But if you want to take your relationships to the next level, you need to open up. This is very important. It's going to build a lot of trust, and this is exactly what people like.
Now, there are certain very meaningful actions that are going to mean a lot to your friends and they're going to strengthen your bond even more. So what are these actions? Well, one of them is giving back. See, this doesn't only have to be in form of physical presence, even though those are great as well. It can just be offering a helping hand when they're in need, or just catching up with them, just being there for them for a quick little chat, or inviting them to something. Now, the next thing you want to do is be spontaneous. Now, people love a more spontaneous person. If you're the type of person that calls them up at 3 a.m. to drive to Switzerland and buy a moose, well then, they're going to be up for it because it's just such a random thing and it's going to break them out of their everyday life. They want to feel passionate. They want to feel excited. Be that friend who makes them feel excited. Now, the next point is be uplifting. Being uplifting just means not putting them down, but instead dragging them up, especially in front of others. If you're the type of guy that praises their friends in front of other friends, it's just going to make everyone feel so much better about themselves. And this can also mean whenever someone in the friend group maybe doesn't feel that heard, maybe he's being ignored or so, you just want to make sure you pull them in. So you're always the type of guy that makes sure everybody in the friend group is okay and treated equally and is feeling good. Now, of course, a lot of guy friends like to put each other down, and that can be so much fun every now and then. But it's actually so much more important to be positive, because that makes sure that everybody feels positive. You don't need a different word every time. Now, the last point is doing different things together. A lot of friends always do the same thing together. They meet up on Saturday in the same old bar, have a couple drinks, and then go back home. And the reality is, that's not even a real friendship, because if you only meet up to do some drug, to drink, well then, as Hamza said, you're not friends with each other. You're friends with the same drug. And the thing is, you're just using them to justify your addiction because you don't want to do it alone, and they're gonna know. However, if you do different things with them, they're actually gonna realize that you appreciate spending time with them. It's not about what you do, it's about who you're with, and that's gonna make them feel so much better. So plan something different. Go on a hike, watch a movie, or just sit down and play cards, or eat a pretzel. So don't be boring, switch it up every now and then.
Next up, when should you cut your friends off? Well, if you realize that the friendship is very harmful, for example, they constantly put you down, they're being cretins, or they stop you from reaching your goals, it is a harmful relationship. Now, this one is something that you can talk to them about. This one is important. Talk to them about it, and if this one is important. Talk to them about it, and if that doesn't help, cut them off. Same goes for the next one, which is that they clearly put in less effort than you. Now, after having watched this video, you're going to be a great friend. You're going to put in a lot of effort, and it's going to be very, very nice. You can't expect everyone to work on the same level as you. However, if it is clear that they are just being there, not doing anything for the relationship, you need to talk to them about it or cut them off. Very lastly, this one, so important. If they lie to you all the time, or they're constantly backstabbing, cut them off. This is something that you can't really talk to them about, because the trust is broken. If they constantly throw you under the bus, it is not great. You need to cut them out. They are not here for you.
If you enjoyed this banging episode of Pablo's Pill, you might like this one as well. We'll see you there.